Om Shanti. We are passing through difficult times. The crisis is continuing in one form or the another. We had COVID pandemic, then we have the climate crisis, now we have war happening just close to us. Russia and Ukraine are on war, and we are directly or indirectly affected by it. But if you look at it, what is the call of time? How do we respond to the call of time? I think we need to understand that in difficult times, we need to think of innovative ideas. One of the things which always inspires me is what Dadi Janki used to say. 3 words were very close to her: Sachai, Safai and Sadgi. I feel in the difficult times, we need to adopt a lifestyle which has to be minimalistic. Our needs have to be minimum. We have to prepare ourselves for coming times. If we cut down on unnecessary needs and live a simple, healthy lifestyle, then probably we can pass through the crisis. We need to cultivate this habit in these times. Minimalistic attitude doesn't mean that we starve, but it means that we need a nutritious food, we need a proper environment closer to the nature, and if we adopt that lifestyle which encompasses the clean mind and the clean heart and also a simple living style, that is very important for these times. The climate crisis also tells us that we have to work in a way that we use minimum. We use minimum water, we use minimum energy, we use minimum of our resources. But the foremost to this is that our anxiety level have to go down. We have to think less and think creatively and think in a positive way. In these times, the second thing which I feel is we need to be closer to the truth. We need to be our authentic self, a compassionate being, a caring being, and a sharing being. We have to, whatever resources we have, whatever strength we have, we need to share it. Baba, the Godfather, Shiva also tells us that charity begins at home. We need to look at our neighborhood. We need to look at how our neighbors are going through. We need to be very kind to them, caring to them, because we do not know what kind of problems we are going to face in future. And neighbors, what we call in Hindi or Urdu, Hamsaya, they're like our shadow. They would be able to help us. With the neighbors, we need to even share our strength and our weaknesses. We need to share what meditation is, what the introduction of the Supreme Father is. How do we really are all actors on this world stage. We are playing our role and we are all unique. We are all special. So when we blend together, when we collect together, we become a strong community. So we have to be together in times of difficulty. That's very important. And the third thing which I feel is we need to just wind up everything. Whatever we have expended in these terms of our relationships, our business, our whatever we have expended, we need to just become close, become like a tortoise. Whatever tortoise, it needs, when it gets, it just crunches itself, it squeezes itself and comes to a very narrow kind of a shell. So we also need to see that we need to sametna, what we call in Hindi. We need to wind up everything. And we need to understand that winding up doesn't mean that we don't do our livelihood or we don't do our business. But winding up means the mind has to be free from all this. The freedom of mind is very important. Whatever we do as a Karam Yogi. So that it doesn't affect us. So that we do it in a way that we are connecting with the Supreme. That is what I feel. And the last point which I feel, our objective, our mission is to become accurate. We look at our mistakes, we look at our follies and correct ourselves. What Baba says that we change, we check and change. We need to be perfect. We need to be 16 celestial complete. That is what is needed. Accurate and perfect in values, perfect in qualities, perfect in the pearls of wisdom. So that is what we need to understand, that if we become Sarvaguna Sampan, then only we can prepare ourselves for the coming world. Coming world is the one which would have deities, the bestowers. We also have to become master bestower in these times, in difficult times. So in essence, we need to understand that we have limited time, we have limited resources, we have to protect our environment, we have to be sensitive to our climate change, and then we also need to be perfect in our dealings. We have to be free from all the negativity, and that is how we can prepare for the coming times. The call of time tells us that we need to awaken, we need to arise and inspire others to adopt a lifestyle which is more of divinity, which is more of truthfulness. If we adopt that, then only we can survive in the difficult times. And the most foremost, and what I feel very close to myself, is be authentic, have integrity in your dealings. When you become authentic, have integrity in your life, nothing would appear difficult for you. It is very important that we follow that mantra, Sachai, Safai and Sadgi. This should be the call of time. This should be the one which should remind us that if we practice it, we'll become closer to perfection, we'll become closer to our ideals, and when we are closer to our perfection, then we become complete, and then we become divine, then we are more empowered to handle whatever crisis comes to us. Baba, our Supreme Father, tells us that it is very important that we are ready before time. We are ready before the crisis comes to us. So we need to be aware that anything can happen suddenly. So our practice has to be long time, and it has to be consistent. It has to be regular. Then only we can be closer to perfection. Then only we can respond to the call of time. Om Shanti.